Hi guys, this is Artemis with SirLinksalot, and today we're going to be talking about citations. Now, citations are fairly simple, but they're also super important, and they're known as the lifeblood of local SEO. Now, with that being said, you can use them for more than just local SEO, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Actually, we'll be covering a lot of stuff in this video, starting with some very basic things, so be sure to use the timestamps at the bottom if you'd like to skip around to something specific. We'll be covering what citations are, how to use them, how you can get them for yourself, what makes our citation so special, as well as how you can place an order with us at the end of this video if that's something that you're interested in. And now we're ready to get started.
So here we are on hotfrog.com, which is one of many citation sites. Citations are listings on business directories such as Hotfrog that contain your business's NAP, which is the name, address, and phone number of your business, and of course they have a link going to your business's website as well. They're super important for local SEO because they're how Google essentially verifies that your business exists at a certain location, and they build a ton of location relevance to help your rankings as well. Like I mentioned before, they are known as the lifeblood of local SEO and something that you absolutely have to do. There's really no way around it. With that being said, you can use them for affiliate sites as well as a form of pillow link. You won't really get the benefit of the location relevance, but they're still something that are very natural to build for any kind of website, and it can help with your link diversity as well. So here we're on the actual citation that we built for ourselves on Hotfrog a long time ago, as you can see by this very old logo that we have up here. I'm just going to walk through some of the basic components that we have here. So right here, you see that we have our business name and then our address and our phone number, so the NAP as well as some other info such as our email and a link to our website. Some citations have different things. For example, this one has a few industry sectors that our business is involved in over here, and we also have a photo gallery where you can upload your logo. And then down at the bottom, we have our business profile, which is where you can just tell us a little bit more about your business. If I come back to our site and scroll down a bit, you can see that the citations are all white hat, which means that they're very natural and safe to use. There's nothing that you need to worry about as far as getting yourself into trouble with Google when it comes to building your citations. This is something that real businesses build every single day, and it's something that is very, very natural to do. One thing that's also worth talking about is how citations really compare to other types of links. So citations aren't very necessary, but they're not really something that's going to drive your rankings forward, unless you're in a very low competition niche where you really don't need anything else to rank. This isn't a super common situation, but hey, it happens. Now, as far as backlinks that really move your rankings forward, you're really going to want to look more into things like guest posts, niche edits, and PBN links as well. Everything else that we've got here are kind of different forms of what we would call pillow links, which are used for diversification and naturalness to your link profile. Citations are a little bit different in the fact that they're really necessary for local SEO, but again, they're not something that really drives those rankings forward. All right, so now how to use citations. For most projects, and especially local projects, you'll be building citations at the very beginning of the link building process. You can always do more every now and then if you like, but it's also really important for local search. So because of that, they're generally one of the very first things that are done. With that being said, if you don't do citations at the beginning of your link building campaign, don't worry too much about it. You can just go in and take care of them now. There are a couple of more things that are important to note when you're building your citations. The first thing is where you're going to point your link. If you're an affiliate site, you'll just point it to the homepage usually. And if you're a local business and you just have one location, you're generally going to point that also to your homepage. But if you're a local business that has, say, 10 different location pages, you're generally going to do a separate set of citations for each location page. It's very important that you get these things right and uniform across all of your citations. It's pretty simple stuff, but you really just need to make sure that it's all uniform throughout all the citations, or it can create a lot of problems for Google. If you do have some inconsistency, it's really not that big of a deal. You'll just need to log in and make the changes to make sure that you don't have any kind of issues with it. Another thing is for your business descriptions down here. You could do the same business description for every citation that you do, or a better practice would be to change things up a bit so that you can use some different keywords that really just kind of target different things with each business description that you do. With that being said, doing the same description throughout all of your citations is totally fine. It would just be better for more variation to exist so that you can target more things. And lastly, you want to check for duplicate listings. Basically, it just means that you don't want listings from the same website. So let's say from Hotfrog, you don't want two listings from Hotfrog going to the same location page. Now, if we had, 10 location pages, you could have a Hotfrog listing going to each different location page because each one will have a different address and maybe a different phone number as well. But as far as going to the same location page, you want to make sure that you don't have any duplicates. Again, this is just something that could cause some issues, so it's best to avoid it. All right, so as for how to get citations, it's actually pretty simple. You can just go into Google, type in something like citation sites, and there will be a bunch of different lists here for a bunch of different websites that you can list your citations on. So you'll go to the website, you'll create an account with a username and password and all that good stuff, and then fill in your profile fully, ensuring that things like your NAP is the exact same as everywhere else. and that you're not making duplicate listings or anything like that. But as you can probably tell, this is a pretty time-consuming and low-level task. If you're just getting started in SEO, you might be doing this yourself manually to try to save on your budget, but most SEOs will actually have someone on their team or maybe even a virtual assistant do this for them, or they will order from a trusted provider such as ourselves. It just frees up more additional time for you to do things that are more technical when it comes to SEO. So now I'll be walking through our citations and how to place an order. What makes our citations better than a lot of the competition is that we know the best directories that you want to get listed on. All of our work is also manually done, and we don't use any bots or anything like that. And this is to ensure that we make no mistakes and that everything is done to the highest quality as possible. We are quite a bit cheaper than most of the competition out there, which is obviously a big plus when it comes to people who are trying to do SEO on a budget. And lastly, we will send full reports upon completion, meaning a full list of every URL your citations were created on, as well as login information for your records. So scrolling down, this is kind of what the general process for getting citations will look like with us. You'll place an order and then you'll give us all the information that we need and complete your payment afterwards. Then we'll go in and check over all of the information, meaning we check for duplicate listings and things like that, after which we will actually go in and manually build all of your citations for you. This usually takes about a week, give or take, and after that week, we will send you your comprehensive report. So scrolling to the pricing here, you can see that the options actually get cheaper per citation as the number of citations in the pack that you're ordering goes up. And then when you're ready to place an order, you can just click here on the Order Now button. And after you click that, you'll be taken to our order form. On all of our order forms, please be sure to look at the information right here up top because it's usually somewhat important. If you ever have any questions, feel free to go ahead and send us an email as well. If you're a first-time customer, we will need you to fill out your name and your email to make a new account. However, if you're a returning customer, you can just go ahead and sign in if it's not already logged in for you. Then we come to packages here, and you can select whatever packages you want. You can also change the quantity, so if you want 5 of the 40 citation packs, which doesn't really make much sense, but this is just for a demonstration purpose, right? Technically, you can still do that. Then you can select your add-ons. So here we have 10 unique descriptions as an add-on. So like I mentioned before about your business description, about how it's always better if you were to basically write different descriptions so that you can target more keywords and things like that, you have the option for us to do that for you right here. You don't really need to get too crazy with this. Usually, most people just get one, and this will be cycled throughout your entire 40 citation pack. So you have 10 unique descriptions, which we would use each description 4 times for a 40 pack, for example. And you could also get 40 unique descriptions if you want all 40 in your citation pack to be unique. We can do that for you. Then over here, we have the option to pass your links through an indexer as well, and this will increase the odds that Google will actually index your citation. This isn't something that I usually do, but some people actually really like to do it, so I'll just go ahead and leave that checked. Then you give us the information that we need, such as your site's URL here, and you have the NAP, the name, address, and the phone number, so make sure that all of that information is correct. Here we have some social media options for you to include if available. And we also ask you the approximate number of citations that you've already built to your site, as well as some places for you to copy and paste your previous citation URLs, or if you have access to a spreadsheet, you can just upload that here for simplicity's sake. If you don't have this information, it's really not the end of the world. It really just helps us to know that we're making sure that there's not any duplicates and things like that. However, we do check these things on our own. It's just better to get that information from you as well. So next up, we have the option to upload a business logo, so we can just slap that on all the citations that we make, and any additional instructions that you think that we might need to know before we get started. So when you look this over and it's all good to go, you can go ahead and complete the complete purchase button and it will take you to the payment portal. So like I was saying, it takes about a week or less for things to be finished up, but it's usually less than that. And if you want to see sample report, just like on all of our products, you can scroll past the pricing table to the FAQ section and check out a sample report right there. So here is what a sample citation report looks like. You can just see that it has all of the basic information that you included about your website as well, and all of the domains that we build the citations on, as well as the individual URLs for each actual citation. We also include the username and the password for each one for your records in case you ever need to make any changes. All right, guys, that's about it for citations. We covered a bunch of stuff from what they are, how to use them, and how to get them, so hopefully this video has been helpful. If you're thinking about placing an order, or if you ever have any questions, feel free to email us anytime at info@sirlinksalot.co, or you can just shoot us a message on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as it really helps us out a lot, and be sure to sign up for our mailing list on our homepage, as well as join our Facebook group, the SEO Roundtable, to get VIP access to flash sales and updates, as well as take part in our SEO discussion and learning community. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.